What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Kaisha, this time with what I believe is the final episode. Good episode last night. I had a bit of a fun camping trip. Again, the names still elude me, but we spent time with this guy's family. Again, it feels bad just calling him this guy, but yeah, we saw him. Apparently, it was his birthday. Nice little surprise for his kids and his wife, which our main couple did work on. We ended up with a bit of a cliffhanger with our main male lead going to be revealing something. It's set up to be that he might be revealing a relationship, but I think he's probably just revealing the fact that he could be switching up roles in the near future. But looking forward to it nevertheless. Let me know what you guys thought about this one though down in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. I mentioned this last week, but I think my takeaway so far, honestly, is that Soma in his relationship was a bit more. It captured me a bit more than these two, to be honest with you. Oh, he got interrupted. So did I say Soma? I meant Some. Sorry. And what music do you listen to? Oh no. He's given way too much away here. Trying to lie about this, bro. Try to keep it a secret. Yeah, for real. Well, that it doesn't matter. That's the thing. You could just fill in that the name is like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean he's already figured it out. So, like I said, okay, way too much away there. So he actually was going to tell them that they're in a relationship. Okay. Like I said, I thought they might have done a little fake out and he would have switched it to the whole changing his job role. Okay. I mean, that's pretty impressive that he was prepared to. But yeah, like I said, I don't know, there's something about seeing a relationship develop, and it felt really natural in the show. There's something just more captured, and that's probably why there are so many anime that get stuck in that period, which I've mentioned before as well. So many anime are stuck in the period of before dating, but more than friends, and it just like fully focuses on that for like 6 seasons, 7 seasons, or something crazy, which is too much. But it makes sense that they would, because like I said, that's one of the most interesting and like most captivating parts. I feel like this happens quite often in romance as well, or I actually prefer like a side couple to the main couple. It happens quite often actually. Well, the title is the title. The title is the title of the show. Probably more accurate. You're telling me they just slept in the house? It's not a fucking camp. So yeah, this takes the absolute piss, doesn't it? I'd said last week, like, yeah, it seems nice, and the reason, like, camping and such is fun, but I mentioned last week the sleeping, the setting up the tents is a bit of a nightmare. They just skipped all the hard parts. It kind of, do you know what? Just pause for a sec. That's almost a bit like the issue with this show, to be honest with you. That actually almost perfectly sums up. We didn't see the hard work put into relationships. We didn't see too much of the setup of these before they entered a relationship, and them kind of working and seeing the workings of how they got to this point. We've seen a little bit like flashbacks and such, but nothing major. And again, that kind of fits really well. They kind of forego all the hard work, sleeping overnight in an uncomfortable bed, putting up the tents. They forgo all the hard work and the setup just to get to like the lovely point, the payoff point, and you end up losing a bit of something in that. I'm quite proud that I kind of put that together. the Them doing this fake camping, we'll call it here. Yes, almost sums up their relationship pretty well, actually. Not that I'm not a fan, like I still enjoy seeing these two together, don't get me wrong. But like I said, it just doesn't have that kind of same vibe as Somei and his relationship, honestly. He went camping, he slept the night in the tent, Somei did. He didn't puss out and go sleep in the house after you've done all the fun stuff with camping. These guys really are not doing a good job of hiding their relationship, are they? They're in the early stages, to be fair. No, Somei knows that, but good. It's probably good that they can kind of work together in this actually. Oh, he isn't. That's her. Well, it doesn't fade away. Doesn't mean that was not real or didn't accomplish anything. What does this mean? In trouble? So she's transferring. Public relations. Hmm. Potato. Okay. Good. I was kind of she didn't really give too much away in her reaction, did she? Yeah, I was gonna say he probably. I imagine she was gonna struggle with it, but she seemed to accept it pretty well. But I was gonna say Tateshi could probably relate quite a lot considering what he's been going through last episode, but he doesn't even need to. So I mentioned a story about me eating a super spicy pepper at a party once all the time, but that really helped me out with spicy food. Honestly, I was never too bad with spicy food, but I think it was like a Scotch bonnet or something when I was like really drunk, and ever since then I've been really good with spice. Honestly, it's a good revitalizer. It kind of clears out clears you out a little bit. I quite like it. That one's got no eyeballs. I mean, these two aren't like. I was going to say she might feel a bit sad leaving these two, but we haven't seen too much of these two, so I'm not too bothered, honestly. Like, they seem nice girls, don't get me wrong, but I do like that blue hair one a little bit. She's cute. Public relations sounds difficult. Sounds like dealing with complaints and annoying people. That's why I never would ever be able to like work on retail or anything. It just I've worked behind a counter at a gas station once for just under a year, I think, and that was awful. Really didn't like that. More so just to do with the hygiene factor. The hygiene was almost non-existent. Wow, we are really telling people now, aren't we? So she knew. She had absolutely no idea. Yeah. That's good, isn't it? Even when they were pretending to be at each other's throats and such, they actually like gave off some credit. I've mentioned this before as well. Like I've had girls I really didn't like and yeah, and didn't get on with, and then like I'm not sure if it was like a teasy type of thing, but they and that weirdly ended up like coming around and had some good relationships with women that well girls at the time. So I was in high school, but um, yeah, weirdly kind of came around to end up liking the girls, and they ended up kind of liking me. It's like those weird things. Again, it might be like that teasy kind of thing where people like tease each other. I thought it was harsher than that, honestly, from my point of view. So it didn't seem like that to me, but it might have been that kind of deal. Yeah, so you see two people that you think really don't get along, but end up actually being quite a good fit together. So it's good that they're kind of um, relationship kind of shone through even through that kind of act. I think that's a good sign. So yeah, as I said, like we get like little bits like this, but we don't get to like see it like right from the beginning, and like yeah, we could yeah. Dessert cafe. It's another human with no eyes. I understand like far away shots doing stuff like this. That's absolutely fine. It does look a little weird when they're so close up though. Look like Pan's Labyrinth. I mean, this is definitely like a thing. If she's prepared to use your shower like this, I think that says quite a lot. I understand his like, especially I think growing up in the age we have grown up in, where there is like such like a feminist movement and such, and there is just like so much more. Um, it's always felt to me like you need like Teishi kind of said this earlier. You need like almost 100% guarantee that the girl's into you. Almost like I definitely feel that because I've had experiences again, especially in my teenage years, where I've asked girls out and such that I thought liked me, they've like rejected me, and then and so on, and then I've had experiences where I asked like a girl out that I thought I'd have no chance with, and so on, and it's actually ended up going like successfully. Like there's such it seems so chaotic, and yeah, that like I said, it feels like it's such a gamble. I think the gamble is where a lot of like there's a lot of pleasure in like I definitely like I asked a lot of girls out when I was younger. I got again BlackBerry and such, and like the iPhone was just like coming up in high school, and BlackBerry again was especially popular. It had like a pin code, and it gets sent around to all schools, and you'd end up like having like loads of people's numbers who just like from around the area and such. And again, I've probably asked out hundreds of girls, and my success rate is probably less than 1%, I imagine. But yeah, it's just at some eventual point, I think again I got rejected so much, perhaps, and I had so many of those kind of chaotic experiences that it's so hard to actually judge like 100% if a girl is kind of into you, and you do need to be absolutely sure, because if you do like misinterpret something, again, especially nowadays, you like get called up for people like take videos of you, like again, this never happened to me, and hopefully it won't. I'm not that type of guy that goes out on the weekends or anything anymore anyway, so probably not too likely to happen to me any day soon, although that does sound quite depressing. But well, not depressing in the way of someone taking a video of me doing something dodgy in like a nightclub, but yeah, just yeah, you get what I'm trying to say there. That I kind of lost my point getting to that, but yeah, you do want to be like absolutely sure. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to be seen as like a creepy guy or like or anything like that. You don't want to make any moves when it's like might embarrass her, or it might be like the totally wrong thing to do, and there isn't any real like repercussion for that. It's just like the social awkwardness and like the thought of people judging you, I think, just really adds a lot to that for me. Again, it's easy to say like don't care what people think. It's a lot easier said than done. But yeah, that kind of social awkwardness of like being rejected like that is quite painful, and I think a lot of boys, again, especially probably nowadays, that's what was probably why there's so much like a kind of incel culture and such. I can definitely see how someone would be like that. And how you kind of would rule out any kind of relationship and so on. Like, yeah, that kind of makes a lot of sense to me. I think there's a lot of female incels as such nowadays as well. I think it has got a lot to do with like the internet culture, to be honest with you. I mean, you can probably see on like on graphs, I imagine there being a direct correlation, especially with Japan and their kind of family relationship, making babies situation they've got going on now, which is an absolute disaster. I think you can probably again relate the kind of growth of the internet to the decline in people having babies and relationships and so on. There's probably a lot more factors as well, don't get me wrong, but I went on an absolute rant there, so apologies. It's just like I said, I totally like get where he's at with like, does she like me? Does she not like me? There's been a few signs that say she might, but there's not been anything majorly outwardly. Like sometimes I think for men it's quite hard. Like women are quite good at this. I think for men sometimes the woman does have to really kind of spell it out to you that she does like you. That's pretty much how most of my relationships have gone, honestly, where the girl has been the one to kind of aggress perhaps in the relationship and tell me that she likes me. Like again, I've always been a bit wary perhaps about stuff like that. Although again, my probably most successful relationship was the one that I kind of did aggress, and just met this girl one day at like, I think it was like this festival thing in my city. She was really cute. We ended up doing like this spin the bottle thing with a few of our friends and a few of mine, and ultimately it was just like me and her kissing. Like we never got anyone else apart from us two, and just kind of hit it off. I think that was probably the meeting was probably the peak of that relationship, though. Didn't go very well after that, honestly. I think you guys definitely had this as well, where like people were talking about something you do or something that you really relate to in like a negative manner like this. Like, I'd never date anyone from work, and you've just got to kind of listen to it. But as I said at the start of this, like it's strange that we're doing this like now, like at the end of the season. Anything, I think we should have done this a bit earlier. Oh. Like I said, this is a nice moment, but it just like my first thought towards this would have been more beneficial at the start of the show. Like they've made this almost like a payoff, whereas this is the hard work. You've made the hard work the payoff. Just a strange structure. She always does have some really nice hair there, doesn't she? I really like it. I quite like short hair on women. One of my recent women I'm really liking at the minute is Sayako from Yakuza Like a Dragon. I really like her. Like I said, these are all the payoffs, and we've switched the payoffs with like the work. It's quite funny. You have human feelings. It's quite a comprehensive ending, aren't we? Yeah, bloody hell. Yuden Kanjo. Okay, that was a good end of the episode. Like I said, would have preferred it if we had actually had the contents of this episode a bit earlier. Honestly, but it's still good nevertheless. Better late than never. Better late than never. Probably won't be seeing too much more of these gals. I feel like there's something brewing with this girl, though. If you know what I'm saying, like there's probably maybe a potential romance for her in the future of this show. If this does get a season two, I'm not sure how popular or successful this has been. Hard to judge nowadays, honestly. You see lots of stuff that you wouldn't think, like the Uma Musume stuff. It's not an awfully popular series, I don't think. At least not here. I'm not sure how it is in Japan. It looks like a really good series. The production quality on it. I'm not sure what the content's about other than racing horsewomen, but the production of it looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't seem awfully popular. That's getting like loads of seasons and movies and such. So I can't ever really tell. And then you get stuff like, yeah, there's plenty of really popular stuff that don't get like a second or third season. Although that's seemingly changed quite a bit in recent years. You did have a crush. Arigato, arigato gozaimashita. Okay. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Pretty much just said there. Like I said, I feel like I enjoyed this series. There wasn't actually too many romance anime out this month, or this season, should I say. Usually there's like a good amount of selection with your romance anime, but there wasn't actually too much out this month, so there's not too much to compare this to, other than Honey Lemon Soda, which is quite a frantic show in my opinion. I've enjoyed Honey Lemon Soda, but there has been 2 or 3 episodes specifically that were just like almost impossible to follow because they had TikTok brain while making them, and like they just move on from scene to scene every minute or two. So that this has definitely been a much more kind of stable production, I think. and it seems like a bit more of a mature kind of romance as well. In terms of everything we covered before this episode and like the workplace stuff and a lot of relatable things in here, as I've mentioned all the way throughout this, my reactions to the show, a lot of relatable things in here. Decent last episode. I did definitely feel like it's one of those things in anime, isn't it, where sometimes they're really good at like wrapping up a season, but unless it's like the finale, it never really truly feels like a wrap up. Like the ending scene here, like us ending, seeing them get into a relationship is like, it's a strange way of ending off a season, isn't it? Us ending at what should be the beginning, and like I said, there's a few things that have kind of reversed quite a lot of details in the show, and I appreciate that in some instances. But like I said, it didn't feel like much of a wrap up, to be honest with you. It felt like it should be the start of something, which is yeah. I think again that's one of those things with manga and light novel adaptations, less so with light novel adaptations because there is like an end to like a book, whereas with manga it is just like wait for the next volume. It's not the end of this volume, it's not the end of this chapter, wait for the next one. It's not like we're wrapping this up now. It's like tune in next week, if you know what I'm saying. You're always waiting for the next one. But yeah, I mean, nice to see them reveal their relationship to a few people. Somei's girlfriend now knows about them. Her redhead's friends now knows about them, and I think that's a bit of progression there, which is nice to see. But yeah, decent final episode. Definitely not my favorite episode. I did like seeing a little Gintama-esque kind of finale bit here, seeing all the past episodes events. That was kind of cool. But yeah, definitely not the strongest final episode. As I said, I think my favourite thing from the show was definitely the Somei relationship and that kind of being built up during the season. And they almost kind of stole the show a little bit towards the end here, to be honest with you. And yeah, do let me know what you guys thought about that. And let me know what you guys thought about this episode in general and about the show in general as well. Again, I think it was pretty solid throughout. Nothing kind of spectacular, but just a pretty solid and adult kind of romance anime here. But again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with any of my relationships, any of my videos. And yeah, thank you guys very much for supporting, and have a good rest of your day.